Funny enough, the military actually doesn't pay me that much.
I called the apartment complex. I was like, hey, I'm looking to buy this place or whatever. Oh, you want a unit? You want a room? Like, no. I'm trying to buy it. Most people think they can't do it, but they can do it. Like, oh, you're crazy. I'm not, though.
But do you mind sharing how much you make a month now?
Yeah, sure. You really shouldn't be saying you can't do something. You're young, you have time, but you don't have time.
This is Adonis Mcshan. He not only has a Ferrari that I got to drive, by the way, but he has 7 other cars.
Yep. Mercedes out there, Ferrari.
Along with properties all across the United States.
This was the first house I bought using my VA home loan. Using my VA home loan.
All while active duty Army, and he's gonna show you too. But before we get to that, this wasn't easy. Adonis almost died in Afghanistan.
They have these things called CRAM. Ganberry didn't have a CRAM. They just had the thing that notified you that it was coming.
One of the properties that he purchased almost ruined his whole empire.
I didn't know the building flooded. Like, I still haven't got my money back from that place. I don't think I ever will.
And we're gonna tell you all about it. But before we do, I need you guys to subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. If this is you guys' first time watching me, it's your boy Aaron Batley. Your boy's in the military, and I've been documenting my life from the jump. So subscribe so you don't miss out. Like the video if you haven't already. And if you are in the military, considering the military, or a veteran, join the Discord below, because Adonis is actually in the Discord. And if you're struggling with the ASVAB, we got some stuff that can help you down there too. But before I was in his Ferrari, before I shook his hand, I found him on TikTok. At first, I thought it was all cap.
Currently sitting at 52K for the month. I think I got another 10 to 12 coming in. Funny enough, the military actually doesn't pay me that much. I put 92% of my check in TSP, so I only get 921 bucks for this month.
Because let's be honest, it's 2025. We've all seen the guru who rents the Lamborghini, the Ferrari, buys an Airbnb, and just records 10 or 20 videos flexing. But something was different about Adonis. The way he spoke, the way he was just explaining the way he does his business.
The question is how? I bought this place in 2021 for 370K. And as you can see, it is now worth almost 1.1 million.
I had to learn more, and so one message on TikTok ended up being a 3-hour-long Zoom call, and it completely changed how I thought about the Army, money, and just how to go about life. Your first home was not the best. You put in new floors and stuff like that. Did you use a contractor, or did you use
No. I did all that shit myself. YouTube. It was kind of like a retreat process. Buy them super low, refinance, pull money out, use that money to buy more. It's called big. It's called a Bird method. I want to buy places where everybody wants to be. My property will always be worth something. Now I'm buying houses through my LLCs. And now I have so much business credit, I can literally take out $200,000 business credit right now to go buy a house if I really needed the money. You know what I'm saying?
Do you mind talking about that?
Yeah. You make your LLC. The way I do it, the way I structure everything, each LLC has at least $1 million in it. $1 million of property or whatever. I have one LLC I use for like flipping, or I buy multiple houses on it. And once it gets to like $1 million worth, then I will start a new one. You make your LLC, you get your tax ID, you make a business checking account, credit card. You have the money flowing through there. Then once you have your money flowing through there, rents, all that coming through, the bank realizes, hey, you're making some money. We're gonna extend a business line of credit to you. You can basically expand your business and start making more money and do more business through us.
This is very personal, so if you don't want to answer it, but like, were you kind of born into this, or was this all self-made?
No, my mom never. No one knew anything about houses, anything about investing or anything. My mom and my uncle were the first. They were the first two to ever buy a house in our family.
Where was the main source of education to learn this stuff?
YouTube and like trial and error, to be honest. Just doing this shit over and over again. I fucked up so many things when I started, I'm not gonna lie, I fucked up some things. I was over $1 million of debt, for sure. I was probably like in 2 or 3 millions of debt. But then COVID hit, rates went down, I refinanced and pulled money out of all these houses, basically. Not only did my principal balance go up, but my payments went down because the rates went from like 6% to 3.2s, 3.1s, So that's how I got a pretty good chunk of money. And then that's where I bought my first apartment. complex, which was in Colorado Springs. I called the apartment complex. I see it's for sale. I was like, hey, I'm looking to buy this place or whatever. And they're like, oh, you want a unit, you want a room, you want to rent an apartment. I'm like, no, I'm trying to buy it. And then she's like, the lady's like, oh, I don't know who to talk to about buying this place. I'm just the lady that gets people into the, and I call them and I finally get in contact with a dude, somebody that can actually, you know. And again, first apartment complex, super old building, 1889. It's one of those historic buildings, middle of downtown Colorado Springs. My plan is I'm going to Airbnb the whole apartment complex, you know. Most people think they can't do it, but they can do it. Like, you just have to be willing to fucking give up some things. You got to give up a lot of things, actually. Like, you can't have the best of both worlds. I'm not trying to sell hoop dreams.
And I'm not gonna lie, he also inspired me to stay in the military a little longer. That call with Adonis didn't just shift my perspective, but it changed the way I thought about the military entirely. People have been using the military as a launch pad to become successful outside the military, like Duke Dennis.
It taught me a lot. It made me grow as a grown-ass man. And at the end of the day, it made me who I am today.
Bella Porch, or people have used the military and the discipline and the mindset that the military scopes out of you, lead them to build an entire empire, like Patrick Bet-David.
A lot of these things that you learn in the military will help somebody who wants to one day run a business.
Or Ben Mala.
You know, that got me out of New York. It got me in a, you know, an organized, controlled atmosphere. Showed me, you know, the real, you know, how the world works, and it really helped me. It saved my life because.
Depending how you use the military. A lot of people don't realize how the pay in the military actually works. You see, Adonis is a captain currently in the United States Army. He commissioned as a second lieutenant. And if you didn't know, officers starting off, no matter their rank, they get their base pay and something called their BAH. Now, the higher up you go in the ranks, the more BAH you get. But what Adonis did is he used his BAH, which is to provide yourself housing or a place to live. He bought a house.
I rented the first year, then he took my whole damn deposit, and I was like, fuck, I didn't even do anything, like, you know? So that shit kind of pissed me off. So I was like, I'm gonna buy a house. So I bought a house.
And so instead of paying rent, he was building equity. And he not only did that once, but he did that multiple times to get to the point where he's at now.
Bought my first house. The next month, I bought my second house. And I was kind of targeting houses that had been on the market for a super long time. I was just sending like crazy ass offers, like low ball offers, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, people were accepting them. And
if you watch the entire video, he's going to break it down so simple a toddler could understand.
If you are watching us from the last home you'll ever own tonight, consider yourself lucky.
Where prices fell fastest and hardest, we are not, says economist Dean Baker, anywhere near done with this yet.
It's going to take a long, long time in some of these markets in, say, Florida, where you had really big bubbles. Those prices are not going to come back anytime soon.
So if there's somebody whose financial planning is based on their house price coming up in value soon, you're saying maybe they should come up with another plan.
Exactly.
I'm going to show you the glamour side of real estate and all of the success on my channel, but you guys need to realize that real estate can make or break you. If you have no idea what you're doing, real estate can actually ruin your life. I'm sure you all have heard of someone called Dave Ramsey.
Buy packages of houses, I buy 10 or 20 at once, and they were rental portfolio, and I lost every bit of that. Real estate, because real estate's real hot right now. It's a popular fad topic again. Everybody wants to do a real estate deal. Renters are always, they're going to pay the payment, and it's a free house. You're just an idiot on TikTok. Let me tell you what you can do with a tenant who's in a bankruptcy. Nothing.
Although he preaches financial literacy now, he, like many others during the 2008 housing crisis, was ruined. And when everybody couldn't afford to pay rent, you still owe that mortgage. And if you can't pay, you're going to be financially ruined if you can't figure it out. And so if you guys want to get into real estate, make sure you know what you're doing. I cannot, in good conscience, produce this video without telling you guys, like, in the very beginning, Adonis was in ROTC for the Navy in high school, and then he later on would go on to college, earning 3 bachelor's degrees, and in the process, he joined Army ROTC.
My mom was like, you should try ROTC. And then I joined ROTC my junior year. No intentions to join the Army. Once the Army, and they were like, yep, we'll get you in a junior class right now. And Army ROTC was just easy in the sense of like, they kind of let me do whatever I want. So I had a very skewed sight of what the Army was going to be like, because the lieutenant colonel and the master sergeant like loved me. You know what I'm saying? I was fast, run fast, had good grades, you know, and I was just, you know, I was chilling. So I'm like, okay, like, it's the Army. I'm like, oh shit, this is easy stuff. I mean,
and during that time, his life was easy. He got well with his leadership, and his leadership loved him. This is where things slowly start to take a turn for the worse.
Money enough, though, I kind of got tricked just a little bit. And my lieutenant colonel was like, nah, put in for active, because, you know, it's competitive. So, like, he's like, if you get active, you can always change the reserve later. For active, then I had my first, like, real Army experience. It's called cadet summer training, and that shit sucked. So I came back, and I was like, sir, I can't do this. And he was like, no, just leave it active. And when you get it, we could just change it over if you really don't want to go. I was like, okay. And I got, you know, then I got a couple internships, like some accounting firms, Deloitte.
Initially, his leadership in college said that you should join active duty. You'll be great. And if you want to go reserves at any time, which is a common thing people say, you can do it no problem. That's where they were wrong.
So I went back to him like, hey, sir, can I switch to reserves? Then he hit me with a, oh man, you know, you missed a deadline. And I was like, you say nothing about no deadline. So,
and on top of that, before Adonis even bought property, he had to survive his first duty station first.
I was in a field artillery unit. I'm the only one that everybody expects to know about S1 stuff. Like, I've only been in the Army for 3 months, so I don't really know. But everybody expects me to know it, and I'm like, I don't know what and usually you have like an NCOIC to like help you out. But guy I replaced, he was getting kicked out. First started sending me his numbers. I'm just throwing them on the board. He's like, this don't make sense. I'm like, I don't know. It's cold. I'm getting cussed out. And at the time, me and my girl, we not seeing eye to eye right now. This is the end of it. So I'm like, damn, life's tough. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this shit.
He hated his life, like me sometimes in the military.
Me being me, I always wanted to make money. That's how I overcame it. So I was like, I gotta start making money, you know? So I'm starting to get in real estate. So that was my way of getting out, really.
But that's not all, though. He also deployed to Afghanistan by himself.
My whole shop was basically getting kicked out of the military. I only deployed with myself. No soldiers, no NCOIC, just me. You know, that was rough in itself, because I had a whole battalion, basically.
But this is what's going to shape him, and it's all going to make sense later on in the video. That was the turning point for not just his military career, but for his entire life. He knew that if he did not change something, he would absolutely hate his life. And so this is what motivated him to find other ways to make money. And real estate was the one that came to him. And you know what shocked me the most? He manages this all by himself. No property manager. Everything is done all by himself.
People call me crazy, but if I was paying a property manager right now, I'd be paying them like 6 to 8K a month. And for me, I don't think they do that much. If you get a good one, different. But like most of them, you know, they just call and then they just call somebody else to come fix it. At this point, every property I have a handyman on ground that handles most problems that I just call them, you know.
Even with all that growth, success comes with its lessons, and it's not a smooth ride.
Austin Fourplex was my first like real mistake in real estate. I got big-eyed. Like, literally, I bought it, and like the next month I found out I had mold. And at the same time, my unit's deploying to to Europe. It was eating me up. The mortgage was like almost 6K. I have no tenants in it, so it's just 6K going. We ain't even talking like the 6K that's just going out of my pocket. Then you talk about the mold. That's another thing. So I'm spending that money. So this shit was becoming a money pit quick. Like I was like, yeah. I flew my contractors out from Colorado from Florida, basically finished it right before I deployed to Romania. Like I still haven't got my money back from that place. I don't think I ever will.
So what would you have done differently?
Shit, just look at the inspection.
What shocked me the most is that he, with no help, was still able to manage all of this on his own while still active duty. And it just made me wonder, how does somebody show me what's possible without showing me what's required? I'm still wondering how he actually does it. And so I stopped wondering and I booked a flight to Texas. the person who you're about to meet, baby boy. And I think you guys are gonna be excited to meet this person because he is gonna show you how you get one of these. You know what I'm saying? I forgot the trunk was in the front. Right now we're in front of the basically mission control center. Pretty much you say you live a boring life.
Yeah.
Like pretty much how many hours do you really spend in front of the computer versus out there?
Out of a day, I'll probably say 13 hours.
13 hours. Right. Okay.
Yeah, the weekends usually I chill out.
Okay.
I try. You know,
okay.
At least Sundays. Sundays my day.
What would you say is important in terms of goal setting, planning? How important is that to you?
Me personally, I gotta write it down and look at it every day to understand what I'm going after. Right.
You got the boards right here,
and then they see. 200K a month is the goal. 200K a month. I want 200K months every month. So,
but do you mind sharing how much you make a month now?
Anywhere from 60 to 80K.
Okay. And let's talk about distractions. How do you stay focused in your work? Like, for an example, right? Looking at your, can I show the layout?
Yeah, sure.
This pretty much tells me you are focused on one thing and one thing only, making 200K.
There's nothing else in this house but a bed and an office. And it's really it. I don't do anything else. No couch, no TV. I don't got a TV room, nothing. So, I mean, this has been the best setup for me personally. If you deploy and you have a loan for 6.8%, you deploy, you get that loan reduced to 6% for the amount of time you deploy. What you do is call that bank, whatever you're banking with, when you deploy, send them your deployment orders and say, hey, I'm employed, I need you to reduce my interest rate to 6%. And then they're gonna reduce it to 6% while you're deployed.
But this is my first time hearing, and this is why you guys need to watch the whole entire video because we're dropping all types of gems like this. And so by the time you guys finish this video, you guys will be ready to do it for yourselves. You guys see me, you guys see Adonis. Hopefully this is me being the starting point and Adonis being the okay,
middle point. It's not the end, you know. Need a paint job. Just got it up and running. And just swap it. Just swap.
Sheesh. Would you say you enjoy driving this more than Ferrari?
Hell yeah.
That never gets old, I bet. I'm not finna ask to drive it, but he offered it, and now he's about to teach me the ropes of driving. How much is this car?
$260K.
$260,000 car right here, everybody. So you guys are gonna learn too. So
Super simple.
super simple.
All right, it's just not like a regular car. All right, so you take the brake off. All right, brakes off. To put it in drive, there's no drive. You have to just hit this once.
Okay.
And that puts it in first.
Okay.
You can just go. But then,
and that's it?
Yeah, and then when you stop, you gotta put it in neutral, hit them both, and then put the brake on.
Okay.
And then hit the engine stop.
Okay.
And that's it.
And then just for comparison, y'all, look at this damn steering wheel, bro. Oh God, boy. What are we doing? What are we doing here? How do we get here? I'm literally looking at my engine in my mirror right now, bro. Oh my God, bro. Bro, I'm driving a freaking Ferrari, bro. Sitting down with Adonis in Texas, we didn't just talk about real estate. We talked about mindset, how he stays disciplined, what separates him from you. Why aren't you in his position? So what are some things that you do that most other people do to save yourself some time? Like for an example, for me, I hate grocery shopping. I use Walmart Plus, and DoorDash. If it wasn't as expensive, I would be DoorDashing my food. But do you kind of do things like that to kind of save yourself some time too?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I am terrible. I don't cook at all. I eat out almost every day. No. I eat out every day. I don't clean up either. I have a house cleaner.
So you pretty much don't do any chores?
Not at all.
So what's your advice on getting the financial fundamentals down to get yourself ready to buy a house or to start this journey like you are?
Credit has to be good. You can't have too much debt, like you're saying. You can't be I'm not against you going out there and buying a car, right? I'm not. Will it hurt you? Probably. You know what I'm saying? You know, but and also you only live once, so I get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So you got to kind of like mix it in. You should be investing money into making you more money. And I say that with a Ferrari. Right? So
$3K. How much is the monthly bill?
$3K. Which you know, people. Yes, I know that is not a smart move, but I think the Ferrari will bring me more money.
Yeah,
it's going to put me in places where I wouldn't be able to get in before. You know?
How has the Ferrari done that so far?
People see in a Ferrari, they say, "What do you do?" You know, obviously, I do the mortgage broker thing on the side, and then you know, just the networking, right? Like when I was at that car club, I mean, I met a dude with a Bugatti. I've never met a person in my life that had a Bugatti. You know, I know him now. You know? I would have never met that guy if I didn't have a Ferrari. At the end of the day, I always wanted to say I wanted a Ferrari. It was on my list of things to do.
Yeah.
And that's really why it's so important of having a list of things to do. Yeah. Okay. I made this list when I was 21. And it had it from me being from 21 to 30 and what goal I had by each age. You know.
And that's important because a lot of you guys watching the video, you guys are young teenagers. You guys think, oh, I want to join the Army, but you guys don't write out, you guys don't think about what you guys actually want to do in the Army, how you want the Army to benefit you, because the Army is going to definitely be benefited from you. How are you going to get benefited from the Army? You want to serve your country, but you also, you know, you want to have a nice life too. And how you have that nice life is you write a clear goal and you work.
If you don't meet it, it's fine.
Yeah.
But write it down.
Definitely.
The hardest part about doing real estate and trying to, you know, build that portfolio is the upfront costs. It's kind of one of those things you can't like be halfway in, halfway out and expect. You know what I'm saying? Because like I'm never going to say, hey, you can just use your VA loan and you'll become a millionaire, right? Like that's not what I'm trying to say. But what I will say, if you want to actually do the real estate thing and actually, you know, become, you know, get multiple doors, then you have to start getting creative, and then then risk also is a thing that you just have to accept at that point, right?
He broke down step by step every avenue of real estate that one could potentially get involved with.
There's hard money lenders, off-market properties, you know, there's wholesalers, you know, you could wholesale, there's loan assumptions, there's so many ways that you could do it without actually having to put up your own money. But it's all about risk, right? And like that's up to you to dive in and be able to, you know, whatever 5x or 10x your rental properties, right? I never focused on cash flow when I was starting up. I focused on my net worth, right? By that, you know, I had friends that bought houses that were trying to buy a house for 50K, 100K, whatever, 110K, in these areas that were kind of less than desirable. And you know, those same houses probably worth 120, 130, maybe now 140, maybe, right? The problem with that is, yeah, they're making money, they're making good money every month, but
it's not
it's not going up. So what I would focus on was I would buy in areas that I knew were going to appreciate well, that I would research the area, see if they were building anything, any big city developments going on, and then that's what I would, you know, that's how I would buy my stuff. And then now, once those places appreciate well and, you know, go up, now I can use that to leverage to buy bigger door, you know, more doors, like the big stuff. And
whether it's a refinance or sell.
Yeah, a refi. Yeah, right. Refi or sell, you know, and then now I can leverage that money that I just made to buy big things that will now we're talking 5x, 10x in your money.
Like, could you give an example? Like, you started in Colorado. Was there a big job plan or like a factory being built that how did you find out about it, and like how did that process work?
Yeah, Colorado Springs, you know, funny enough, the research I did actually ended up not coming to fruition. But the Space Force was supposed to come, but they ended up going to Huntsville actually. That's what I thought. You could just tell and In-N-Out was coming. There's so many things coming to Colorado Springs. So there's so many things. And I was just like, there's no way it has to blow up, you know. It was a nice place. I liked it a lot. Another thing is top 10 cities list coming out, whatever, every year. That shit, you know, it kept hitting that list for a couple years. It was like number 1, number 2, or 4, whatever. It kept hitting that list of places you should move to, you know, stuff like that. So, and just take that stuff. And, you know, same goes for like when I was buying in Huntsville, the CIA, or was it the FBI? I forgot. FBI, the CIA headquarters is moving there. And then Space Force moved there, right? So that was the two big things. Huntsville has now blown up, if you haven't, and I knew about that back in 2019, 2020.
How'd you find out about it?
Just researching, like look up city developments, Huntsville, right? Major city developments, like.
And so why did you choose real estate out of all the other, like stock, crypto, just start a business? Why did you choose real estate to let that be your vehicle to reach your financial goals?
I have a saying that I like to say. So it's be undeniable, right? That's my saying, right? I like to say be undeniable, and that means in every aspect of life, you to the point where you're so good, you're undeniable, right? With real estate, it's kind of undeniable, right? Like nothing that anybody can say about me can affect my real estate now. You know what I'm saying? Like. Doesn't matter what color I am or how tall I am or how short I am, whatever. At the end of the day, I own that, and you have like people pay me rent. Like they can't say, oh, I don't want to pay you because you're this, or I don't want to, I'm not doing that because no, it's my place. I can just you have to pay me. So that's really why I did real estate, because a lot of things like a business, right? Especially these days, you could do something personally,
and if they don't like you,
it could be like, oh, we're not buying your stuff, or we're not watching you anymore,
you say the wrong thing,
we're canceling you, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, Well, in real estate, you
could be a dickhead, and
I really like, I could be a dickhead and no one would never know what I own.
So how do you keep your real estate protected? Because you get all this real estate, what do you do to protect it?
So there's two things I do, and I think everybody should do it, right? There's a thing called an umbrella policy, right? If you're going to keep all your real estate in your name, your personal name, and you're not going to do LLCs, then I would say get an umbrella policy. An umbrella policy basically protects you from lawsuits and other things. Then that's where you have the LLC, and then that's where it kind of protects you. And you also have your regular insurance policies. Home insurance policies, like you have liability insurance in those home insurance policies too.
What lessons do you think you had to learn to get to this point?
Well, a lot of it is just doing shit that you don't feel like doing.
Exactly, yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the amount of times I've had to be like, fuck, man, I don't feel like doing this shit, man. And like, you're like, but you gotta do it. There's so many people I meet, and they just won't do what it takes.
They just don't want to.
Right, and I don't understand it. Like, I'll go work in a house at 11 p.m. or whatever, like, or working on a computer. And like, people are like, oh, you're crazy. I'm like, no, the fuck, I'm not, though. You could be doing that same job for 40 years or 30 years or whatever, but, and I'm gonna do this and be miserable for, a good 5 to 10, and then I'll be done.
So do you think you're gonna stay in the Army for 20 years?
That's a tough call. Well, now, I always say if the Army started affecting what I did, I would get out. Does it make some things a little more difficult? Yes. They always say, like, the grass ain't green on the other side. And I mean, there's nothing I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything because I'm in the military.
What do you think is a common misconception about the military?
That is, I think people think it's way worse than it is, right? I think people think they're going to join the military and die. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong.
Definitely is a possibility.
Right, it's a possibility. It's a dangerous job. I'm not saying, but like, it's just, I think that some people just, I don't think people understand like the different roles and responsibilities you can have in the military. Other things, like, I think a lot of people they really don't assess the benefits right. You know what I'm saying? The benefits that the military gives you. They don't really assess it right. Most people don't understand it until they actually see somebody in the military and they're like, oh, they're looking like good. Right. Like, oh, you ain't gotta worry about this, they ain't gotta worry about that.
And the most eye-opening part for me was that Adonis not only looked like me, he talked like me. It just showed me that anybody could do this with the right mindset. Do you think your early 20s should be the time where you were the most selfish and discovering yourself?
Sure, I think you should be selfish, but I also think you should be working hard, right? You should be grinding in your 20s. It's tough. It's a tough balance because, it is your 20s. You want to have fun. Like, this is probably the last time you can really turn up without being, like, looked at kind of sideways. But at the same time, you're
gonna give up your 30s. You're gonna give up your 30s and your 40s, and maybe your 50s, potentially, because you slacked in your 20s. You know what I'm saying? Because now you have to work. And I mean, you could turn it up in your 30s also, and you know, change your whole life in 5 years. The problem that though is by the time you get in your 30s, you're probably having a family.
What do you think you do that other people don't do? That why you got you here? That got you here.
I think I'm hard on myself. I'm super hard on myself, right? Like I am harder than anybody could be. Nobody could be harder on me than I am on myself. So I'll say I fucked up quick, even if it really ain't my fuck up. I'm always trying to improve something, right? I don't like things that are stagnant. Like
I get a lot of people commenting, I don't know what I want to do with my life. What would you say to them?
Yeah, I don't know what I want to do with my life either, right? So it's cool, right? Like, what I would say is okay, you don't know what you're gonna do with your life. You need to do something, right? It doesn't, like, you're not, I always tell people this, you're not gonna like anything really. Like, there's not too many, there's like only few people in the world get blessed to actually do something. They're like, I fucking love doing this, and I do it. Like, there's only a couple people, like, I wish I was one of them. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not either. Like, but there's only a couple people in the world, you know, it's a few, but like, to get to a point where you're like, I love what I do and I do it every day. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people just doing what the fuck gets them by. Like, I'm just being honest. Same with me. I'm doing the same shit. I'm just doing, I don't love anything I'm really doing, you know what I'm saying? I just do it. So, you know, when it comes to people that's like, I don't know what I want to do with my life, right? Like, that's, in my eyes, you have to be put in situations where you can figure it the fuck out. And that either is in school, because then you can figure out what, now you're around different type of people. You just have that when you get, because if you sit there in your loneliness and say, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing in my life, and you're just around all the same people, you'll never know, because, you have to like expand your horizon to kind of see what life has to give, right? So if it's college, and different degrees and stuff like that, maybe you find it that way. If it's the Army, like different MOSs you seeing, you're like, okay, I think I would like doing, again, you're not gonna lie. I don't think you're ever gonna, not many people are gonna be like, oh, I fucking love doing this. Like, most people aren't. But like, yeah, I think that's where you have to remove yourself from your current situation and put yourself in a situation where it can give you more ideas of what you want to do in your life. You know what I'm saying? So
in high school still, somebody freshman in college, somebody graduated from Bullock, AIT, sees you as a figure who they want to be like?
I would just say be undeniable, right? You really shouldn't be saying you can't do something, you know what I'm saying? That shouldn't be in your vocabulary, like sacrifices early, pay dividends later, right? Like, so you're just, I would just say be creative in your mindset of how you get things done and how you get to certain milestones of your life, You're young, you have time, but you don't have time, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was just 21. I promise I was. I swear I was. So I was just 21. It feels like yesterday. I was just 21, and that shit moves by super fast. And there could have been certain decisions I made in my life that would have set me back quite a bit if I was thinking with wants versus like actual needs, and being able to identify what a want is and being able to identify like what you need to do to get to where you want to be, right? So I would just write down goals often, right? Because if there's not a finish line, then you're not really racing towards anything, you know what I'm saying? You're just kind of just running this way versus that way. You know what? You probably can't see it, but you know what I'm saying? Y'all get the drift. Yeah, so, but yeah, run towards something, not just, So that's what I'll say. And again, now you don't have time, G, so get to it. Small things matter, right? So Yep, that's it.
So if you're also in the military and you're ready to stop renting out and you want to start your real estate journey, like Adonis helped me, he's here to help you. If you click the link in the description below, you yourself can work with Adonis and you yourself can see how real estate, which is the #1 millionaire maker in the United States of America, how real estate can help you and change your life and your family's life. And a crazy thing about it, Adonis isn't the only success story like this. I've interviewed multiple people who've gotten rich off of real estate in the military and out of the military that are just like you. Why are you still here? Click the videos, brother.